Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to the very first Let's Interview the candidates, the finalists for the upcoming tabletop campaign for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. We are here with candidate number 1, Jojo. Welcome, Jojo.
Woo! I
Woo!
am so happy to be here right now.
Yes, and I am so excited that you're here. If you recognize Jojo, he has auditioned with us in the past. You may have seen his interview for Mass Effect last year. And now he's come back, going even stronger than before,
Better than ever.
better than ever. And I'm ready to have some fun, just to see how things are going. So our our first guest interviewer today is none other than Astra.
Hey, hello.
You may remember Astra from the current campaign, the Mass Effect Season 2 campaign, Mass Effect Revolution, where he plays Gimmick. And I'm just going to let Astra take it from here. So go right ahead.
Okay. Do you want to start by your name and your age and things that people might want to know?
All right, sure thing. Hi, everyone. My name is Jojo. I'm about 22 years old. I have been playing tabletop games, role-playing games for many, many years now, and I enjoy them greatly. And I'm a big fan of Angel Arts' campaigns, and I've been wanting to be part of one for years, and I'm really excited to be here right now. And it's such an honor.
As you should be. But yeah, I think that you owned it and you put up with, you kept keep trying every year, and yeah, maybe this is your time.
Third time's a charm, right?
Yeah. Why do you like to play role-playing games?
I like to play role-playing games because I like playing a character and making a story with other people as we play our characters. I like overcoming challenges and difficulties. I like developing my character in interesting ways and see how they react to the world around them and how they interact with other characters and the stories they make through these actions. And it's always so fun, and it's always an amazing experience. It's probably my biggest passion.
Do you usually play as a player? Do you like to GM games?
I usually prefer to be a player, though I have DM'd a couple of Dungeons and Dragons games before. They haven't lasted long, but I enjoyed the experience somewhat, though I do tend to prefer to be a player.
And when you play, do you think that you like to come out with things in the moment? Do you like to plan things that your character would do?
It's a bit of a mix, really. Some of the best moments I've ever done have been improvised character moments, like to just make sense in the moment for this character. But I at least do like to do some planning ahead of what this character is like and some details. And then I develop them a bit more as time goes on and just develop from how they react to things as well. So it's a bit of a mix.
What is it about the Wizarding World universe that you're very passionate about?
Really, I think it's mostly the world itself and the wonder it brings. Like, one of the things that sticks out in my mind always is like when I first saw the first Harry Potter movie, which was my first experience with the franchise. The first thing that really struck out to me was when Hagrid and Harry went through the brick wall and came upon Diagon Alley and all the wonders and sights you saw, this wonderful world it was with all these strange and unique things, but it was still quite similar to our own world. And I like that feeling it gave me about this world of magic that is so close to our own. It really got me into the world and how wondrous it could be. And I always was more interested in learning more about this interesting and magical world.
There is at least one piece of that world that you would like to experience for yourself? Anything that you would really like to at least try once?
I think I would like to, it may sound really, really dangerous, but I think I would love to interact with dragons. I always loved dragons, so I would love to like encounter a dragon under safe circumstances and maybe like pet one or meet one up close. I've always been a big fan of dragons and the like, so that'd be really fun if that was possible.
So part of what I'm looking for in the players this year is because there's a lot of lore that there's a lot of holes that need to be filled in a lot of the lore, especially in the other countries for the other schools. Ilvermorny is a little bit easier because it's in in America. So my question for you is, pick a different country/school, like the one in Uganda or the one in Asia or the one in somewhere else in Europe. Picks one of those other schools outside of the US and out of Hogwarts, and tell me how you would imagine if you were to create for yourself what the Wizarding world would be like at that other country or that school. What would it be like, especially if it's different from Hogwarts and Ilvermorny? Maybe not just the school, but maybe even the culture. Like, what would the Wizarding world culturally be like in that other country?
I think I would probably go to the Japanese school. I imagine that the Wizarding Society is a bit more reserved over there than it is over in the US or over in the UK. I imagine that the school it's more reserved, but I think it would take more cultural aspects from the local culture of Japan than it would than US and UK. I imagine like it would be a bit closer to nature in some ways, with taking more elements from like I believe Shintoism or something. I imagine it's a lot more quiet around there, but in reserve. But I imagine there would be a lot of interesting fun sites, like maybe from like Japanese mythology or stuff that you would see from like yokai or something. Since I know that it's not a boarding school, I imagine that a lot of kids are like come from homes, and there are different methods of getting to the school from their homes. So like maybe there's secret way like port keys that help them get to the school, or like hidden methods of transportation, like one of the cars, but more discreet flying cars or flying buses or something that could help them get to the school without attracting muggles or no magic's attentions, or whatever they call them over there.
I think that's a good number of out-of-character questions, so if you want to get into the role-playing, Astra.
Okay. So, well, let's say that this granny that lives in your neighborhood, that it's like the granny of the neighborhood. Everyone else knows her, that her sons and like people related to her are nowhere to be seen, so she's alone. So I wanted to know, you seem like a really strong boy. Could you help Granny to clean a little bit?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I would be happy to help. He says a bit put off, but he nods and along to realizing that there's no one else that can help her.
Oh, you're such a nice boy. You remind me of my son. It's okay. Just follow me. And she will guide you to her home.
Yeah. Felix would awkwardly follow along, messing up with his hair a little as he goes, feeling very awkward about this situation.
So, yeah, like that, you arrive to her home, and she shows you where the attic is. And, well, she goes to prepare cookies while you clean. It's a really big place and has a lot of things, and it's kind of messy.
All right. I begin looking around to see what's the simplest thing I can do first. Felix just looks around, messes the air, looks around. Oh boy, this is going to be able to take a while. And he just scans the area.
So, in this room, there is a lot of junk around, but there is one piece of furniture that like catches your eye, and it's covered in this sheet in the middle of the room.
Noticing it, Felix would slowly approach and look over it to see what it was and maybe remove some of the things covering it. Just see what it was and see if how he would have to clean it or move it.
Well, it's covered in a lot of dust. And well, as you approach this thing, you kind of feel as if it was calling you.
Felix frowns a little, and slowly approaches. He probably picks up a broom from that was given to him to help sweep up, and takes it by the end and slowly approaches to touch it because it's giving him a weird feeling at the moment.
So, as you touch the mirror, nothing happens. The thing that is under the sheet.
I think I would try and remove the rug.
Okay, so well, as you pull out the rug, there is a mirror under it, and yeah, it seems like a normal mirror.
Huh. I would look around it, see what it was like first before looking into it, before making sure, because I'm still feeling a bit nervous about that weird feeling I have before looking into the mirror itself.
Okay, so you look around, you see that it has a lot of things, like cool things engraved on it. But when you look at the mirror and you see yourself in it reflected, everything goes black, and the only thing that remains is your reflection on the other side.
What the? What happened? Oh, no. Am I having a vision? This isn't the normal visions.
Reflection seems to be doing the same things you are doing.
He sort of moves side to side, see it mimicking. He hops up but once and twice to look, double check. He makes a silly face. And then he slowly approaches it. All right. Who are you? And he reaches out with his finger to touch it.
Well, do you know who you are?
I know who I am. I'm Felix, so.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure. Wait, is the reflection talking to me?
Yeah, the reflection is talking to you, is asking you these questions.
Yes, I am. I'm Felix Underwood, and you appear to be my reflection. Maybe.
Well,
I'm not quite sure yet.
I'm you. And you are me.
Alright. I've seen a lot of weird things before. This is certainly in the top 3 at least. Why are there currently 2 of me right now?
Well, there isn't actually 2 of you. 2 of us. It's just you.
Alright, then why am I looking at myself right now?
Well, I actually want to do the questions here because I think it will be more helpful. So, what do you see when you look at yourself?
I see my red curly hair. I see my red eyes, my pale white skin, my old clothes that the old clothes I wore, I picked out because I was cleaning out a dirty attic today, so I changed into something I didn't really value too much, so I could help clean. And I just see myself.
Well, I always was kind of superficial, but what do you see when you look through yourself? I mean, not on the surface.
I see someone alone. I see someone who is frustrated and is really, really desperate for answers and is quite frustrated with the lack of them. I see someone who just wants to belong.
Well, Look around. You are actually alone. Well, why don't you do something about it? What is it stopping you from changing things?
Changing things isn't always quite easy, especially when you have trouble proving what you get, who you really are.
Tell me about it. Go on.
I'm not really sure what you're getting at.
I am you, and you are me. I'm sure that you know what you're getting at. Do you want to stay like this forever and be a guy with a curly hair, or try to be better?
Well, I think I'm going to keep the curly hair, but maybe it is time for a bit of change. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not quite sure about taking advice from my own reflection. Might be going a bit crazy, though it's still not the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Hark, if you want, another reflection would appear if you want to ask something.
A different reflection.
Yeah, of himself,
Sure.
like another color.
I am going to say that, well, before the reflection appears, let me ask Jojo, what does Felix perceive he will look like in 20 years? If he were to perceive what he believes he will look like in 20 years, what would he see in the reflection?
You would see an older person, his hair still curly but a bit shorter. Yeah, I imagine he would see maybe a bit of facial hair, more confident looking man who doesn't slouch as much, wears better clothes, more formal looking clothes, like someone who is a job has, and who carries himself with more purpose.
Okay, so he seems more confident. He seems to be very successful. When you look into his eyes, does he look tired, weathered, energetic, happy, sad, lonely? What do you see when you look into his eyes?
I think he looks content, like he's happy with where he is.
All right. So that image is what Felix will see in the reflection, in the second reflection. And he will speak in a voice that he recognizes, only older. And he will say, "This is us in 20 years. This is at least how you perceive us to be in 20 years. Why do you see ourselves this way?"
I'm not quite sure. Maybe because it's what I want it to be. I want to be happy. I want to be confident. I want to be happy, content with where I am, and I want to belong. I want to have all the answers. I want to. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. I have no idea what's going on.
We have visions. You have a gift, a curse, whatever you call it, to see into the future. Yes?
Of course, one of the things I know most for sure.
Do you believe these visions that you see are things that will happen? Or do you believe they are things that could happen if you were to work towards them?
I see the visions as possibilities, strong possibilities. Whether I work to them or work against them, I have the choice, but they're always the strongest possibilities. That's how I see them.
You can see possibilities, and you have all the tools to get what you want. Why don't you go toward that goal that you have in your mind?
Honestly, I don't know what's stopping me. Never mind.
When you trail off, a third reflection will appear. This time, this is you when you were much younger, or what you envision yourself to have been when you were younger. Describe what young, very, very young Felix looks like.
He looks a lot more confused, a lot more. He's shorter, like half his size, practically. His hair is a bit more of a curly mess and messy and all that. He wears very kiddish clothes and typical for a kid of his age. He looks around. He looks confused and sad most of the time, and lonely, and always very distressed.
So that image appears. He seems very timid. He locks eyes with you, but he doesn't say anything, at least not at first.
I'm sorry. It's not always going to be easy. Sometimes it'll get better, and sometimes it'll get worse. And all I can do is apologize for that.
Are you me when I'm older?
Yeah. I'm you. I hope I'm a good you.
You said it's not going to be easy. Why not?
Because it's never that easy. Life is hard, and it's not always going to be fair, and people aren't going to just accept what you say all the time and what you are. They're not always going to believe you, and it's not going to be easy. And you're going to sometimes sabotage your own self because of how you feel or what you believe.
The boy just keeps locking his eyes on you, and you can sense him absorbing everything you're saying and everything that he has to look forward to in his life.
But it's not all going to be bad. There's gonna be plenty of wonderful things you'll see and do. There's always gonna be good with the bad. So while it's not always gonna be easy, there's a lot to look forward to. And all I can do is wish you luck.
Are you one of my visions?
Maybe. You're gonna have to figure that out for yourself.
The child version of yourself and the adult version of yourself will fade away, leaving the original reflection.
Now that you have a talk with yourself, I would like you to stop being sorry for yourself and actually work and do things to get towards what you want.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I know I sound a bit put off, and honestly I am a bit put off. This has been a very strange experience, but I want to say thank you, I guess.
Thank yourself? That's odd.
Well, you have to say thank you to yourself sometime.
Yeah. And also you have to love yourself and love each other.
Okay. You're getting a bit too mushy now.
Well, you are getting too mushy now. Okay. I hope that you actually do what you just said. Remember this always. Yeah. You are not really alone. And if you are, it's because you want it.
I'll keep that in mind. And I'll do my best. You have that as my promise. Hello, my name is Felix Underwood, and though I may be lacking in the magical department in many areas, I am a quite gifted seer. I can see beyond the veil, look through the shades, and see what others cannot. My abilities are great, though I am limited in my other means. Despite this, I do everything in my power to make up for my lackings in other areas. And I am always eager to help others and find a place to belong. And I believe I belong in where this is all going. Jojo is a passionate role player and is always eager to make a new story with all of you. And he would be a great boon to have to help make this story happen.